Hi guys.
Hi.
Thank you for taking the time out to talk to me.
Sure.
And congrats on the show. You guys are like the new kids on the block with all these amazing Netflix shows. Did you guys feel any pressure joining this, like, say, this, like, 13 Reasons Why, Sabrina?
No pressure.
No?
No.
Really?
No.
I really saw it like
Stranger
that.
Things. No
Just
sweat.
constant nausea.
I haven't eaten
Diarrhea.
I can't.
Wake up in cold sweats.
Yeah, no juice cleanses. You're sweating. Ouch. That
Lasted
hurts.
a while.
We're not nervous.
Like a little bit of pressure
No.
was on.
No pressure.
We're just like really happy to like have made the show. Period, kind of.
100%.
Yeah.
We made a good run for the money. You know?
Yeah, I think we really kind of didn't have that predisposed notion of like being in that world. I think
Yeah.
we really were grounded because we're so far removed from everything in Charleston that it sometimes you kind of forget. You're like, oh, we're doing a Netflix series.
Yeah.
We'd be out there, and then there was a couple times where some of the Netflix reps came out and we're like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
it.
So we should probably
And then we're just like
straighten
straighten up
and
and
everything.
like, no.
We're just
I brushed
walking.
my teeth today.
Yeah.
And we're here like, hello.
Oh, we're messing around on set.
Keep it together.
Like right now.
So the show made headlines before its production started because the production moved from North Carolina to South Carolina in protest of the awful anti-trans
Yes.
HB 142. So what was it like to just be a part of this production that actually took a stand on something, and especially for people who are still marginalized?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
being a part of the queer community, I'm really happy about that, you know? I'm really happy that, because it's set in North Carolina, it's so hard to not just be like, oh, we're just going to film in North Carolina. And it's like the fact that they stood up for that and made that important and put their foot down and was like, this is not what we stand for, this is not what we're doing.
Right.
And just move it somewhere else. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
really love that.
I think the show is kind of, what's great about the show is kind of we're breaking molds almost. And so I think to be a part of a show that takes that seriously in the story as well as outside and making sure that everybody is included and a part of the story is important.
Totally. Yeah.
On a lighter note, what did that rooster ever do to you in episode 2?
Call
Okay,
it out.
here's the thing.
It's off camera, all right?
Well,
I'm
that's
known
you.
as JJ the Chicken Slayer. Right? You know, like so. What really happened was the chicken actually got loose, and we had to try.
Yeah, there was two
Yeah.
chickens that got
Actually true,
loose.
yeah.
I gotta be
during the
honest, it
filming.
wasn't just the we had multiple times where birds got, we had a peacock.
A
get
peacock got loose on set.
That's
loose.
true.
A full blown peacock.
To answer
Yeah, they
the
cut
question
that out
though, like I didn't want to kill it, and there was actually a moment where I had to pick up the live rooster, and this thing was big. Like it was
So,
like, yeah,
It was
He
big.
wasn't having it.
All
Oh.
6 of the roosters like got behind my back where I was in the corner. And they were like,
Get us
we
away from him.
smell
Yeah.
for safety, and I was like,
yeah,
no.
Pops is supposed to touch it.
Yeah.
You were like, nah.
Yeah, it was like those chickens were like really in there, like I have things to do.
Yeah. No, so like I handled it with care, and then they
an
threw in the
accident.
prop,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, I can ring this thing. So like, it was fine.
Rest
Big
in
stuffed
peace.
animal chickens.
Rest in peace.
It read well. I was like,
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I
yeah.
was watching. I was
Wouldn't
like,
be the first time.
And just to wrap things up, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done with in terms of like representation on TV, but especially with all these Netflix shows, there's really diverse like young people. So what's it like to be a part of this new wave of really representative media, and it's more inclusive of the new generation?
I'm
fantastic.
it's
excited.
fantastic.
I think
yeah.
like I think especially with this show, just the depiction of like the real lives of teenagers, because you see a lot of shows that kind of like there's the idealized life of a teenager, and there's like the stuff that kids can really go through, and there is the fantasy elements, but like us as a
Yeah.
friend group and as like as characters and people are very kind of we very much stayed in reality and fleshed out.
yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
growing up, we
Yeah.
didn't really see a lot of shows that were willing to talk about things. And I feel like this generation is not scared to talk about a single thing. I think we're like, let's talk about being queer. Let's talk about
Yes.
addiction. Let's talk about
Yeah.
suicide because this is what's happening and this is what actual teenagers are going through.
Absolutely.
And we don't need to shy away from it because it's not helping anybody.
Yeah, I think it's the first time you actually get to watch a show where a lot of those elements are touched on consistently and consecutively throughout the episodes. Whether it's, stuff with family members, whether it's friendship guidelines, whether it's love, whether it's
Class,
you know,
social status.
social
Yeah,
status,
absolutely.
whether it's, the combination of the two and not looking at somebody for face value and allowing to get deeper into a person and look at them for what they have internally versus externally and love for those reasons and not for what society's telling us to look for.
Yeah.
Not in a school setting. It's
Yeah.
actually in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
so-
fine.
yeah.
During
It's
the
not
summer.
a high school show.
Right, and we're not sucked into social media, which I think is a breath of fresh air
Oh, yeah.
for our generation, because so often we're consumed by our devices and we have to live this perfect life based
Yeah.
on influencers and what have you. And it's like this, we look at our phones maybe a combination of 5 times in this show.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be a part of this new wave with these guys and tell a story that doesn't focus on using social media as a pressing point to push it through into the audience.
Just
We
like
were
we're
definitely-
having
we were-
so much
yeah.
fun.
We were
just,
definitely
like,
the same way on
being-
set too. I think
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
while shooting, we were rarely on our phones. If we weren't shooting, we were with each other.
Yeah,
Right.
We were playing. We played football a lot on set. We
Yeah.
Yeah.
just kind of hung out and talked. You know,
Yeah.
it was a very great environment. I
It was
think.
great.
It's a YMCA summer camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix summer camp.
YMCA. We're there. We're there.
Thank you again, guys.
Thank
Thank you so much.